everybody, Lord Maim here again with part 4 of the Mass Effect 3 Insanity walkthrough, Priority Palaven. Wait a minute, Palaven? That's a Turian world, right? I mean, why are we even here? Turian's got the biggest space fleet in the universe. They'll be fine, right? Huh. Not so much.
Commander, ELC's getting...
Well, on the bright side, at least we didn't waste a trip. While we're here, we may as well go down and help our Turian brethren kick a little techno-zombie ass. First encounter will occur even before your boots hit dirt. Bunch of husks climbing up the walls, heading for the Turian base. There'll be a total of 10, and subsequent waves keep climbing over the edge of those cliffs. Fire up your favorite ammo power when you can. Usually I like to use Incinerate. Tends to slow them down a little bit as they flail around as well. Also, Liara's Singularity will be invaluable here, as most of what you'll be dealing with is large quantities of husks. The crowd control will really go a long way in these stages, particularly in the next encounter where you'll be trying to reactivate a communications tower that's been knocked offline. Once all 10 husks have been killed in the initial encounter, proceed to the checkpoint and you'll be able to trigger the cinematic where you speak to General Corinthus. He'll ask you to go and repair the comm tower so that we can try to locate the Primarch.
Don't worry, General.
And of course, Shepard, being the good handyman that he is, offers to go have a look. Going out the gate, hop up and follow the sound of gunfire to locate the husks that'll be harrying you for the rest of the game.
Husks at the tower. Overwhelm them. Good luck.
Only 7 this time, but this will set the stage for pretty much the rest of the mission. Lots and lots of Reaper forces. Again, Singularity. You can supplement that with your frag grenades occasionally if you get a large group of them together. You may also want to resort a little bit more on the heavy melee, which I don't generally do in this video, but under normal circumstances, anything gets close enough to hit me, heavy melee in the face, just hold your circle till it hits them. That'll usually finish them off, particularly if they're unarmored or unshielded like husks. But with the combined firepower of the three of you, it shouldn't be any difficulty for you to get to the tower and repair it. Send Liara up the tower. You'll really want to have James down on the ground. Liara's great for crowd control, but she's not as durable. She's a little too squishy for this kind of thing, particularly when you have a large incoming wave of husks followed by another large incoming wave of husks. The husks on their own aren't terribly dangerous. When they get up in groups of 2 or 3 and they start climbing on you or grappling you, see right there, that should have been a heavy melee. Learn from my fail. In any case, also following concussion blast is usually a good idea. It knocks them back, and if it doesn't kill them outright, at least gives you room to maneuver. Once the air comes down for the tower, you'll have access to her Singularity again. Just in time, too, because you're about to be hit by another big wave of husks.
General, do you read? The comm tower is now operational.
Much appreciated, Commander. I'll contact Palaven Command.
Let me know when you've got something. I'll help your men till...
Shepard, you gigantic Boy Scout.
Shepard out.
Hold your ground. Many waves of husks. Each meteor that comes in seems to deposit them on the ground. Again, this is still effectively the 3rd major mission of the game, despite the N7 mission making it 4. So they're still softballing it in at this point, but that doesn't last this whole mission. It really starts to pick up from here. May as well enjoy it while it lasts. You don't really have to worry much about cover in this area, simply because no one's firing at you, and really maneuverability is more important at this point. The only thing you really have to worry about is if Liara gets overwhelmed, you may have to go and revive her. Other than that, at this point things are still pretty easy. And just when you think it's over, more. Literally, this encounter seems to go on for a lot longer than it should. Especially at the end where you're sporadically getting just meteors filled with one husk. Seems like a waste of resources, Reapers.
Commander Shepard, come in.
Once the last husk has been defeated, you'll be directed back to General Corinthus' bunker, where you will discover the identity of the new Primarch and be assigned someone to help you go find them. And who will it be? Who will have the honor of escorting the great and powerful Shepard across the blasted wasteland? Garrus, you old muckety-muck, you old so-and-so. I missed your ugly-ass face. Yeah, half of it. Anyway, you know what I mean. Of course, with Garrus' reputation as surviving impossible suicide missions firmly in place, things start to get exponentially worse. Harvester flies over, dropping off some troops, and of course, Shepard is on hand right off into the sunset with Garrus to save the day.
Are you kidding? I'm right behind you.
Before you set out, though, make sure to assign Garrus' attribute points again. If you've imported a Mass Effect 3 save, as I suggested, all of Garrus' skill points will be reset back to 0, leaving you to reassign them before going on. Make sure to max out Overload, though. You'll be using that more than anything else. That's pretty much Garrus' go-to power for the rest of the game. Especially now being used on the brand new Marauder enemy. The first time you'll see these, they're indoctrinated Turians that start with a shield in addition to their normal health. With the Overload ability at level 6, you'll be able to overwhelm their shields in a single application, easily allowing you to hit them after that with Singularity when Liara is in the party, or just pepper them with straight up gunfire. Once the Marauders are taken care of, the husks really pose no threat. About partway through this encounter, though, once you've taken out the husks that pop up immediately, there'll be a second wave of both Marauders and husks, all of which will charge your position. Stay back if necessary, fall back to the tall cover where you can cheat the corner. That's the safest place to be in this situation in any case. When new waves arrive, try to identify where the Marauders are immediately using the power radial, and then immediately apply Overload from Garrus' wheel. You may want to go to the difficulty of assigning that power to the quick button, so that pressing left on the D-pad or right on the D-pad will activate Overload. As I say, you'll be using that pretty much throughout the game. I think that the combination that I prefer thus far is with Garrus and Liara, the Overload and the Warp and or Singularity capability between those two characters really make for a highly adaptable force to deal with pretty much everything you'll see in the game. Once the two waves of enemies are done, go back to camp and you'll be told there's another attack happening on the other side of the base at the main barricade. I'm not sure exactly how many husks there are here. There are definitely 45 to 50 at least. It's very tough to keep track of all of them. Try to fire the emplacement in short bursts. It will overheat if fired too long at a time, and it does need to reload from time to time, so better to conserve your ammo and reload when it's less critical that you destroy these things. They will swarm up over the sides of these walls and onto the barricade itself. So you should sweep left to right on the wall just to make sure that there are no husks in the immediate vicinity. You'll notice if they're starting to damage you, but you may not notice if they start taking out your squad mates until it's too late. More meteors will fall in with husks, another couple of waves at least. Just keep firing. You'll be slower if you're zoomed in while trying to aim, so try to zoom out between salvos. If they're at a far distance though, feel free to zoom in to get a better aim on them. Ammo is unlimited, however, so you don't have to conserve ammo, just make sure you're using it effectively. Once all of the husks have been taken care of, you'll have an encounter with pretty much the largest Reaper you've ever seen. Aside from, you know, the actual Reapers. Encounter 6 will be with the Brute, and there is a trophy associated with this, Eye of the Hurricane, where you have to kill the Brute while it's charging you. If that's not enough, there will be a couple of husks just to keep life interesting, wandering around the background trying to grapple your head. Those pretty much won't be your focus at this point. Hit the Brute with your frag grenades, have Garrus attack it with a proximity mine, while James attacks with either his frag grenade or his carnage ability. Either one will be good against the Brute's armor. If the opportunity presents itself, feel free to attack and kill the husks, but realistically your goal is going to be to keep moving and keep from being caught by the Brute's charge. Continue to pepper the Brute, wear down its armor. If it happens to charge at you, roll out of the way to the left or right. You can try to use cover to avoid the Brute, but the Brute does have a tendency to either maneuver over or around cover while it's charging, so just being behind cover may not be enough to guarantee your safety. Keep an eye on other enemies in the area, just in case you get jumped like I did there by a husk in behind, but still, your focus is still going to be the Brute. Particularly if you have some of your squad members being attacked by husks, it never hurts to help them out, but still, focus on the Brute. Once that's taken care of, your life will be much simpler. They receive a message from General Corinthus saying that they still cannot contact the Primarch, so you'll be forced to go overland on foot, having Garrus lead you.
I'm going on foot. Shepherd out.
Along the way, which is a pretty linear path, you'll run into a single random encounter of 4 husks climbing over the cliff here. You'll see there's only 3 that appear straight away, but a 4th one out of the blue grabs me, so I don't know where it came from. Still, deal with the 4 husks, and continue along the linear pathway.
Shit, I hate those things.
Eventually you reach a fairly hairy fight and the last major battle of this mission. Immediately there'll be a couple of cannibals in the immediate vicinity, as well as a marauder that comes in from the pathway to the right. Take care of the cannibals and make sure that they don't feed on the corpses to become more armored. Again, use Garrus' overload ability to remove the shields from the marauder and then finish them off with a headshot or regular weapons fire. So you see the cannibals already feeding on a corpse back there, so they're a little bit more armored. You can hear the tink of the bullet hitting their armor plating. Still, a good couple of headshots will generally still take them out if you can line it up properly. Move in quickly and try to take out in this next wave of this encounter as many of the cannibals as fast as possible. There'll be a Brute that charges you almost right away, and the last thing you need is trying to deal with cannibals shooting at you while a gigantic Brute is trying to ruin your picnic. And this won't be the only Brute that you face at the end of this mission, so be ready for it. You'll notice that the Brute has armor plating that actually shatters and falls off as you attack it. the better way to attack a brute is to hit the vulnerable areas where the armor plating has been destroyed. It will cause more damage to the brute than attacking one of the still armored plates would. If you're about to be cornered by the brute, roll out to the side and run, get some distance between yourself and it before trying to re-engage from there. Once the first brute is completed, there'll be a wave of marauders preceding 2 brutes that will charge your position. Don't leave it as long as I did here. I tried to take out a few too many of these marauders at once before the brutes arrived, but I left it a little bit too late. What you're going to want to do is, when the brutes are approaching your position, there'll be a heavy weapon, a black star, that's leaning up against that bunker right next to where this marauder is. And what that black star will be used for, if you can time it properly, you can take out both brutes with a single blow. That will make this last part of this mission so much simpler. Here comes the brute. Again, I left it a little bit too long. When ready, charge for the black star. Pick it up. Do not try to melee the brute. Now, back away and wait for it. Wait for it. Boosh.
Been a brutal fight for these guys. But the tide's turning. Turn up the heat.
Almost there. The blast killed not only the 2 brutes, but also most of the marauders in the area. There's still a couple left from that wave. Finish them off before going forward. You'll see there's a lot of Turians in the area on top of bunkers and just shooting, so they'll actually assist you. Use Garrus's overload ability, or, you know, just shoot them. Up to you. Alright, here in the home stretch, for some reason, out of the blue, there was a cannibal just wandering around. It didn't seem to be part of another wave, or existing wave, so 1 cannibal in wave 4 of encounter rate. We'll call it its own wave. I'll call him Murray. I miss you, Murray. Once the last enemy is dead, press on to Primarch Victus's bunker and speak to him to trigger the end of mission cinematic. Victus will join, but not without price. Doing his best Madden impression, he says that you'll need the Krogan on your side if you have any chance of winning. And honestly, why that wasn't Shepard's first stop, I'll never know. But hey, gotta pick up my boy Garrus before we start off to save the galaxy. Pretty sure that's in his contract, actually. But that'll bring part 4 of our Mass Effect 3 Insanity walkthrough to a close, Priority Palaven. Next up will be part 5, Grissom Academy Emergency Evacuation, which I'm really hoping is not some kind of code for a biotic enema. Till then, I'm Lord Maim. Thanks for watching.